Architect Peter Zumthor. Zumthor is one of the world's most revered architects. Zumthor's career began in his father's workshop as a cabinet maker and progressed on to winning almost every award an architect could win, including the most recent 2013 RIBA Gold Medal. Zumthor was born in the year 1943 in Brussels, Switzerland. He worked with his father as a carpenter, where his appreciation for construction materials and how they are used developed. His fascination with materials made him pursue what he loved. After graduating from the local school in his hometown in 1963, his ventures carried him to being a student in America, where he studied industrial architecture at Pratt Institute in New York City in 1966. His love for material and his appreciation for the environment are reflected in his design projects, such as Val's Thermal Baths in Switzerland and Kunsthaus Bergen's Gallery in Austria. In these buildings, the materials used are direct reflections of the surroundings, giving a natural feel as light enters the facility. He said, "Architecture is not about form, it is about many other things. It's about creating emotional spaces, the light and the use, and the structure and the shadows, the smell, and so on. I think form is easy to control. It can be done at its end." Zumthor's architectural poetry is directly expressed through his projects, to which he not only nudges visitors to look and feel beyond the facades of the building and its program, but creates the experience for your senses as you circulate through the buildings. A good example of such an emotional advocating design is the Thermfals Hotel and Spa in Switzerland. This breathtaking spa, completed in 1996, is built over the thermal springs and partially into the mountainside. Being aware of the context of where the bathhouse will be located, Zumthor made the driving force of his design be the local stone from the mountain. The entire facade and interior walls were designed and constructed with layer upon layer of carefully placed quarried valsa quartzite slabs. The careful selection of this material used in this building's design complemented the space on the side of the mountain as if it was naturally supposed to be there. Inside the building, Zumthor's design allowed users to feel like they're moving freely within nature, where suggested paths lead bathers to explore new places inside the bathhouse. In order to design buildings with a sensuous connection to life, one must think in a way that goes far beyond from the construction. Zumthor's approach to Bruno Clau's Field Chapel in Germany gives those who experience it a totally different feeling from any of his other designs. The almost aggressive nature of the interior space, with its blackened, jagged edges, is masked by a soft, soulful exterior. The chapel was completed in 2007. This project began from Zumthor's creative imagination as a sketch and became a landmark in the German. While respecting the needs of the program, Zumthor added an emotional aspect to the chapel through the unusual method of how it was constructed. Inside, the pitch walls led to a sort of cave or teepee with a high teardrop oculus, open to the sky. There are no windows. There is no electricity. Small glass portholes add points of light to the space, and the underlaying walls bear the imprint of 112 spruce trees that was slowly burnt, leaving behind traces in the thick concrete, while the facade of the chapel's concrete remains smooth and untouched. The Columbum Museum, completed in 2007, is a rare beauty designed by Peter Zumthor because of how he seamlessly blends the ruins of the late Gothic church with the newly constructed museum. By using grey brick, he balanced each era perfectly. In respects to the history of the site, Zumthor built over the ruins. His masterful knowledge of construction details and material selection preserved the essence of the site. By sensibly placing grey brick to build the facade and control perforations in it, he subtly brings light into the space, for a soft but dynamic feeling for those who are in it. The gray brick, delicately placed, served as reinforcements for the existing structure as well. And by doing so, Zumthor makes the building seem like it's emerging from the ruins. It is easy to compare Peter Zumthor's work with that of architectural genius Lou Kahn, maybe because of strong similarities which can be seen in their perfectionistic design styles, as well as a heightened relationship to materials used to tell the stories in their architecture. For example, Kahn's National Assembly building and Zumthor's Val's bathhouse. The architects Kahn and Zumthor intelligent use of materials in their design emphasizes monumentality from their buildings that they design and invoke a feeling like the building has been there, standing for ages. Zumthor said that his work is close to Le Corbusier because we share the same culture. Similarities not only to the fact that they share Swiss culture, but also both men aspire to follow their father's trade before pursuing their own way of being architects, as well as a few other similarities in their philosophical ideas. Both architects doubt the general accepted truth in design and approach each challenge in new ways. For example, Le Corbusier's design of Notre Dame de Romtrompe Chapel in France, and Peter Zumthor's design of the Serpentine Gallery Summer Pavilion in Kensington Gardens, London. Although the buildings were completed 57 years apart, similarities in design can be seen in both buildings. For the materials used highlight the use of poured concrete for the conception of each building, and perfectly incorporated the program so that how light enters the space has an emotional and physical feeling to those within it. Zumthor's work as an architect isn't really known much for the erection of large buildings, but for the stylistic and simple features brought into his smaller projects. This showcases his intelligence of how a building should function based on his program and the elegance of the building's design.